This is Tom Colley for Through the Ropes Boxing. Delighted to be joined by world-renowned trainer, Mr. Peter Fury. Peter, how are you today?
I'm good, Tom. Are you okay?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thank you for coming on
Nice.
to us.
No problem.
Appreciated. Just to dive straight in, Peter, to start with, obviously, your son, Hughie. Big year for him last year, obviously coming off the back of the victory over Marius Wack. I expect he's eager to get back out. When do you expect to see Hughie back in the ring?
Anytime. It'll definitely be this summer, and a fight towards the end of the year. So, we're looking for Hughie to have 2 fights. He will have 2 fights. Yeah. We're just waiting on the call. He's training hard, so got sparring partners in. So he's constantly working away, Hughie. So he's ready for that phone call. So Hughie's ready and available anytime.
Great. Okay. And is Hughie sort of in camp? Would you say ready for a summer fight or?
Yeah, he's been in camp for a while. He's been training. He's always in the gym anyway.
Great.
Yeah. So we're just ticking along and just waiting for an opponent and a date.
Sure. So there's obviously no opponent set in stone at the moment. Is there any names that you know that are sort of in question for a potential matchup with Hughie?
No. Eddie said he's working on some things for Hughie and the team also. So that's as much as I know for now. So I'm just waiting for the team to get back to me and let me know what's happening.
Fantastic. So I'd imagine you mentioned 2 fights. Hughie's obviously going to look for a summer, or you're going to look for a summer fight for Hughie. Is that going to be sort of more of a tune-up fight before maybe a bigger fight towards the back end of the year?
It doesn't matter to us. All the big fights are fighting each other, so we've just got to get who we can get and be happy with it and just crack on. The main thing is getting Hughie out there, keeping him busy, and letting the fans see the improvements he's made.
Absolutely.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, obviously Hughie is he's only 26 years old. For a heavyweight, that's still a baby. So I'd imagine we're going to see lots of improvements. What sort of things can we expect to see from Hughie?
Oh, he's a lot more. He's getting better all the time. That's just wait and see. But you'll see a lot of improvements. Somebody who's more relaxed, more calmer, more taking his time. Not rushing his work. And really thinking about it and dissecting opponents, what he needs to be doing.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in what he does over 12 rounds, not 2 or 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we all know. Look. You can blow dummies away in 2 or 3 rounds. It don't mean you're a good fighter.
Yeah.
When you step onto that world scene, that's what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in somebody who's got a ball over. We don't need to build his confidence. We don't need to build his reputation. We need him to be a world-class fighter, and that's what we're working on.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen it many times before. You get fighters, they build what you call a padded record. Or they come over with an unbeaten record, maybe 20 fights, 20 knockouts, whatever. They fight someone, but on a higher level, and they get found out.
Yeah, well, we've had them opponents, and we've seen what he does with them. So we're not talking that type of opponent.
No,
we're talking good, sensible fights, decent opposition, and and getting Hughie to perfect his game with them.
Absolutely, and Hughie's already been in with some very big names in the division, and have lots of very hard, close fights. Obviously, there was the Pulev matchup. I know that's been talked about, a potential rematch there. Is that something you could potentially see down the line?
Hey, no talk cheap, but if the fight got offered us, of course we would. We'd love to take them fights, but we'll see. But it's not priority on our list, and I'm sure they've got other routes, or whether Pulev's even going to fight again. So we have to see. And if Povetkin's going to fight again, of course we'd take them fights.
Yes. Yeah, and of course there's obviously lots of Dillian White out there as well. I know that the ultimate game goal for Hughie is, of course, the world title. How many fights away is he, do you feel, from fighting his way back into contention for potentially a shot at the world title within the next 2-3 years, maybe? Yeah,
sure, it's definitely within that time. But it's one thing being good enough, and there's another thing getting to the world title. So it's not as easy as it sounds. But look, we're just going to keep trucking away, getting better, fighting good names. World titles will come sooner or later. The main thing is I think Hughie one, maybe 2 fights away from fighting really good names. Yeah. So then we can start picking it up properly. So even if we had to fight a world-level contender with no world title, that's also okay. Not a problem. So as long as he's getting there, as long as he's beating who's in front of him, then it's only a matter of time before the world titles become free anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, we know that Anthony Joshua is now going to be fighting Alexander Usyk as he's fulfilling his mandatory duties. How do you see that matchup going? Obviously, Usyk coming up from cruiserweight, he was so dominant, but fighting a far larger man in Anthony Joshua.
I think it'll be a very good fight, and and if it would have been the Joshua from a fair while ago, you'd have had to pick Usyk all day long. But Joshua's come on a lot himself. He's improved as a fighter. His ring generalship. Yeah. I think Joshua's improved. So I think it's still, it's a 50-50 fight because it's very, very awkward. It's not going to be easy to land on. But you got to say a bit more. You have to put it in Joshua's favour a little bit because he's got the power.
Yeah.
So if he hits Usyk and hits him clean, he will do the job. But that's easier said than done. So it's a very close fight, and it could go either way. That fight. It's not walk in the park fight where everybody thinks AJ is going to just blow Usyk over. It's not going to happen.
No, obviously Usyk's got the massive amateur pedigree behind him. Joshua, both Olympic gold medalists in 2012.
Yeah, exactly. They don't get medals for nothing, and it's going to be a great fight. But the people need to get behind that fight because it's a good fight.
Absolutely,
it is a good fight.
It certainly is, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. There was another matchup as well. Obviously, you had Hughie's old foe, Joseph Parker, against Derek Chisora. Bit of controversy around that one. I think a lot of people felt that Chisora maybe got a decision. I don't think you could argue either way. What did you make of that fight?
I tipped it for Chisora, to be honest. I thought he outworked Parker, and he'd done enough to take it. So it was one of them. Parker, he's tough, he was resilient, but for me, he just didn't do enough. I thought he got definitely outworked in that fight.
Touching on another one of your stable, Savannah Marshall. Obviously, again, fantastic year for her last year, winning the world title. Again, I expect probably very eager to get back out and fight again this year. I know everything is a bit slower due to COVID. What can we expect from Savannah this year? Are you hoping to get her out this summer, or?
She's tipped for July. Sometime in July, she'll be hopefully fighting for another version of a world title. So we're busy with Savannah at the moment. She's back in camp and looking forward to her next fight.
Fantastic. Obviously, there is one fight that everyone's calling for in the female division. Clarissa Shields, Savannah. That's a fight that sort of the fans want to see. Is that something that you believe is realistic for this year or maybe next?
Yeah, I can't see why it can't happen this year. I think, we certainly want it. So hopefully that fight can be made towards the end of the year. Let's get July out of the way and hopefully that's the next fight.
Sure. And obviously your nephew Tyson now looking set to fight Wilder for the third fight. How do you see that matchup going? Obviously, we know that Wilder carries that massive power. I think obviously what happened last time, Tyson being so dominant. But as we all know, in the heavyweight division, nothing's a foregone conclusion when you carry the power that Wilder's got. How do you see that third fight going?
Again, I don't know what the public's reading. That's a 50-50 fight again. That's as good a fight as what I've just explained with the other one. Yeah. So that's not going to be a walk in the park. It won't be the same as last time. It'll be a lot more difficult. Anything can be easy. You're one punch away from being bladdered. It's the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
But I would say it's going to be a tough contest, and it's a 50-50 again.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, Peter, thank you very much for coming on and speaking to Through the Ropes Boxing today. It's been
You're welcome
to have you on.
No problem, Tom.
Bank holiday weekend, sir.
Same to you, and I wish everybody else a nice bank holiday weekend as well.
Thank you very much. All the best, Peter.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.